You know what the fuck going on, man. It's big homie Mac, man. Big dog business, bitch. And we in here with 317 A&R turning locals into stars, bitch.
Hey, yo, what? How y'all living? This your boy Miles, D317 A&R, and who am I in the building with today?
I go by the name of Amerikkken.
Okay, how you doing today? How's the pandemic been treating you?
I'm good. It's been treating me well. I've been safe and healthy. My family has been too. So
Good.
yeah.
That's good. So before we get into everything, I'm gonna just get some background on you before the rapping. You feel me? Just you as a person. So, can you tell everybody where you from?
Born and raised in that, Far East Side to be exact. Yeah.
All right. And like, how was it growing up? Like, Far East Side. Like, what was your life like before you was rapping?
I mean, like, if you familiar with that and like the Far East Side, I feel like everybody know it's like, you know, struggle, but I feel like, you feel me, that's what made me the person who I am today and the artist that I am today. So, I mean, it wasn't all bad, but it wasn't all good either.
And did you have like did you have family or anybody that was, you know what I'm saying, doing music that made you want to hop into the rap game? Or like, how was it? Did you have your mom and your dad? Was it just your mom?
Nah, it was just my mom. Me and my mom, and I have a little brother who I grew up with. I have other siblings, like on my dad's side, but I'm not really close to them. But as far as, I guess, family that does music, I have an uncle that does music, but he's technically only my uncle through marriage, my mom's sister. But yeah.
Okay. So you said not all good, not all bad. Can you talk about like some of the good and some of the bad? Like any challenges you faced that made you who you was and taught you lessons?
Right. I mean, like, I grew up, you feel me, all around 21st, so of course, you feel me, just with, you feel me, all the murders and everything going on. I know, rest in peace to my cousin, you know, he got murdered, but as far as good, I feel like, you feel me, just for like, you know, jigging and, you feel me, like, we got culture here too, and I feel like it's a lot of slept on artists here too, so yeah.
Nah, for sure. It's a lot of culture that we got here that really, like, I guess nobody else really understands and knows about. So like,
right.
It's almost like people in Indy also don't even, some of us don't even put on for it as much. So, no, I definitely can see that. So, what was you doing before you was rapping? What was your passion? Did you play sports? Like, what was you doing in high school? Like,
I did color guard, middle school and high school. So for those who don't know what color guard is, like whenever you go to the football games, the girls with the flags, yeah, that's what I did. That's what I was into. Did like student council, like little clubs here and there, but I always been a writer. Like I always was just that person that was to myself. So just like writing poetry, and then it kind of just morphed into music.
I see. So was you always singing too? Or when did you find out you could actually like sing? Did you grow up in the church or something?
Yeah, I grew up in church, so I've been singing. That's funny you asked that. I've been singing longer than I've been rapping. Singing is what was, you feel me, what was more natural for me and what I had been doing. And then over time, like I said, I was into poetry too, so I feel like that kind of just morphed into rapping, and then that's how it came about, you know, me singing and rapping.
All right. So how long has it been since you recorded your first song? Like, how long have you been seriously rapping and like making music?
I'd say 3 years.
Oh, 3 years.
Yeah, I recorded my first song in 2018. I had been writing music though, like since high school, so way longer. But as far as like actually recording music and then actually taking it serious, 2018. Because when I was recording music, I had just got to the point of feeling confident enough to like, okay, cool, this is something that I want to record and like put out. Because if I knew I didn't want to put it out, then I didn't, you feel me, I didn't want to waste studio time. But the first song that I recorded, you feel me, once I had got to that point of like, okay, I want to record it, I might as well put it out. And when I first started putting my music out, it was just something that I had just felt confident enough to do. It wasn't something like, okay, I'm going to take this serious. It was just more so the feedback I got from it. Like, of course I knew it was going to be people who, you know, was going to like it, but it was like an overwhelming, like, oh, okay, cool, like this is something that I should be doing.
Nah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, would you say like when you first started recording, you was already had perfected, kind of like not perfected your craft, but already was like comfortable and found your sound and stuff like that?
No, I wouldn't say that. Like if you listen to my first project, Chaotic, like because I was writing poetry first, like you can hear like the song structures like of the songs, like it still wasn't all the way there. Like I didn't know how to write a hook, like my verses was long as fuck. Like I feel like even, you feel me, first coming into it, like I was still trying to find myself, find my, you feel me, my way and figure out who I was as an artist.
Okay. So, can you speak on like a valuable lesson you learned since you started making music that has to do with like just making music and like finding your way in general?
Right. Honestly, just staying true to myself, because I feel like it's a lot of artists that jump into music just because they feel like, you feel me, they want the clout from it, or you know, they want money from it, or I don't know. I feel like a lot of artists, they tend to look at other artists and like compare their artistry and be like, oh well, why is this person, you know, further than I am? It's like it has to be something that you really are passionate about, and you got to be consistent with it. So I say just being true to yourself if it's something that you really want to do, and just staying consistent with it.
All right, and so what were like your family and like your friends like reactions to when you started making music and they found out you had talent?
I mean, family is family, you feel me? I grew up in church, so they had been knew that, you feel me? I was singing, I was, you know, writing poetry. They were just more so, I guess, proud that I had, you feel me, finally had the confidence to put myself out there. Because my family had been, like, pushing me to do it, and I'm like, nah. But as far as, like, of course, people who I went to school with, people who didn't really know me, they just knew me as, like, you know, the quiet kid, you feel me? Everybody was like, oh, shit, like, I didn't even know you did music. So, you feel me? It was kind of, like, mixed reviews of, like, some people was, you know, like, the close people to me, like, they was waiting for me to do that.
Yeah, it was like you should have been hopping the street.
Yeah, and then there was other people who were shocked, but I'm like, if you really knew me, you feel me? It didn't really come from out of nowhere.
I feel it. So was your name Amerikkken at the start, or was?
Yeah.
And how did you come up with that? Like, what's the signification of?
So my real name is Kennedy, and everybody just called me Ken. And I knew, like, when you feel me, first started putting out my music, I wanted to have part of my real identity within it. So that's where, like, the Ken part of my name comes from, and I really just wanted, like, a name that, you feel me, even if it didn't actually have Ken within it, it sounded like it. And I don't know, like, Amerikkken had kind of just popped up as a light bulb one day. And I'm already a very, like, opinionated person. So it's like, you feel me, I'll do something that I know is going to catch somebody's attention, but, like, everything that I do is still very intentional. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I knew that my name was going to be something that, like, you know, people was going to talk about. A lot of people wasn't going to get it at first, but it's like, that kind of was the point. Like, I wanted y'all attention. I wanted y'all to think a little bit, but obviously, you feel me, I flipped it into a positive meaning too. So the 3 K's in my name stand for knowledge and kindness is key. And yeah, that's been the brand that I've been standing on.
So you flipped it to that, but like, was that your initial intention? Cause like, or was you kind of like influenced to just put the 3 K's, or like because of what everything that's going on?
Before I even dropped my first song, like, I already had the whole brand figured out. Like, when the name first came to me, I'm like, I already know people not gonna fuck with it, but I'm like, I like it. That's the reason why I'm about to choose it. But I'm like, I gotta be, you feel me? I gotta be witty with it. Like, everything that I do, like, I think it out before I just do it. You feel me?
Calculate your steps.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. So what artists was you listening to, like, who influenced you?
TDE. This was before Isaiah and SZA. I was a big Ab-Soul fan. Of course, Kendrick. I know 1999 by Joey Badass that came out at the time. So Pro Era. I'm a real big like hip hop fan. So like Mobb Deep, like Big L, Redman, like that's what I was into. But since I sing too, of course, you feel me, I grew up, like, my mom played a bunch of Sade, you know, Adele, of course, Aaliyah. So a little, I guess, mixture of everybody.
No, that's what's up. Was it anybody locally that influenced you? Cause a lot of artists like that I have on, they be like, man, I seen people out here doing they shit, and I'm like, shit, I can do it too, or you feel me? If he can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
That honestly wasn't even a thought. Like, I didn't even have knowledge on like the music scene in that until I like looked up like, oh shit, I guess I'm a part of it. You feel me? Like, yeah, I really didn't even know of, you feel me, any artists besides Draco. Shout out to Draco McCoy. That was an artist that I was a big fan of, but I wouldn't say that he influenced my music. We make, you feel me, two totally different types of music. But, yeah, I really didn't know what the fuck was going on as far as the music scene and that until I, you feel me, found myself a part of it, and then I started coming across different artists.
Oh, that's what's up. So if you could pick like one song out of your whole catalog, what you dropped, like 2-3 EPs this year? Or last year?
I dropped 2 last year, and then I dropped my first one the year before.
So, okay, so if you could pick one song that like defines your brand, like who you are as a whole, like somebody that never heard you before, and you had to play them like one song, what would you play?
Right. That's a good question. I ain't been asked that, so shout out to that question.
For sure.
Damn, I can only choose one.
Yeah, you run into somebody they're like, let me hear your shit, but it's just one. He only got time for. He or she only got 3 minutes, 4 minutes, like.
Okay, so it's one particular song. It's everybody's favorite, but I wouldn't say that song is a perfect like example of who I am, I guess. So like everybody's favorite is Who Do You Love? I like the songs where I'm able to like sing and rap, but I don't really make like lovey-dovey type songs. But I would say personally, Under Pressure, which is a song on my first project, Chaotic.
Okay.
Like if you listen to it, I'm both singing and rapping, but I'm also like being introspective too. So I feel like that's a good example of how versatile I am as an artist, and I guess like my subject matter in general, what I talk about in my music.
For sure. So what's your writing process like? If you do write, like, what's your creative process in the studio?
It depends. Sometimes I get a beat and I write however that beat make me feel. And then other times, like I said, because I write poetry, sometimes I have ideas for lyrics, and like I basically will have the song already written. It's just a matter of finding a beat that matches, you feel me, the feel that I'm going for, that I hear in my head. So it honestly just depends. But I know as of recently I've been trying to like, I know we was talking about it off camera, but like in general I write out my lyrics, but I have been trying to like get out of feeling the need to like write down everything and just like punch in, or like, you feel me, freestyle more. You feel me, just like getting out of my comfort zone and just, you feel me, having more fun with it instead of like, okay, like let me sit down and write. Because I know sometimes too, you're gonna be in rooms where, you feel me, sometimes you just gotta, you feel me, move fast and just have fun with it, and you feel me, you're not gonna always have the time to like, all right, let me sit down and write, you feel me? So yeah.
No, for sure. So so speaking of beats and stuff, like like how are you finding those? Who are you getting your beats from?
I work with producers that I know personally. So shout out to Legendary P, shout out to Taiwan on the beat. Those are the 2 producers who I personally know and who I work with closely. But outside of them, people tend to just, you feel me, send me beats just cause off the strength of them fucking with me. So yeah, for the most part, I tend to get beats from the same people who I'm already tapped in with.
Okay, and like, do you lock in on a project with one producer, or do you go back and forth?
No. And actually too, like my creative process with my albums or just like projects in general, like I don't intentionally sit down like, okay, I'm about to create a new project. Like I kind of just be making songs, and then like once I start noticing that like some of the songs like fit together, you feel me, like, oh, okay, cool, this is a project.
No, for sure. So what makes you pick your subject matter? Is it like life experience, or is it like something you might be seeing on TV? Like,
yeah, a little bit of everything. For the most part, though, it's like personal experiences or experiences of those, you know, close to me, or like you said, like on TV. Yeah, like I said, I was writing poetry first, so music itself is a way for me to like vent, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't necessarily make, like, I'm trying to take myself less serious, but I don't necessarily make like, you know, fun, like music that's not really talking about shit. Like 9 times out of 10, if you listen to a song by me, it's, you feel me, my actual thoughts, something that I, you feel me, didn't feel comfortable enough venting to somebody else, so I put it in my music.
So you trying to get out that bag and hop in the new bag a little bit?
Yeah, you feel me? Like, especially just with singing, I want to sing more, you feel me? Just not take myself as serious.
No, I feel it for sure. So how's that coming? Like, how are you adjusting it? Switching it up?
Working with different producers. I think that's one key, you feel me, important thing, because I feel like when you work with the same producers, it's very easy to get stuck in the same, like, you know what I'm saying, like making the same songs, talking about the same shit. So really just like stepping out of your comfort zone in general, with just working with people who you normally wouldn't want to work with. You know, just doing features more, you know, working with artists where I'm like, okay, I can't really hear myself on that song, but, you know, let me try. It's a few artists too, a few producers, you know, in general, who push me to, you feel me, get out of that comfort zone. So that's how I feel like I'm able to, you feel me, take myself out that box that I feel comfortable in.
Nah, for sure. Speaking of like collabs, I like the song with Skip. Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, shout out to Skip. That's what I was thinking in the back of my mind when I said Draco earlier. Shout out to Skip.
Yeah, I just had bro on the live. We did a live interview.
Yeah, Skip is somebody who's been knowing me too since before I started doing music. You feel me? Not to put, you feel me, bro age out there, but Skip is like an uncle. Like, he's been knowing me since I was like a kid. So that was definitely somebody who, you feel me, like probably the first person who I saw like in the city, like really doing music for real, like the Skip Saturdays and shit. Like I saw all of that. So yeah, just how like the song with Skip came about, because we had already been knowing each other. Like, I'm damn near like bro niece. I'm like, of course, you feel me, since this is somebody in the city who I've been respecting, like, we gotta get us one. But I'm the type of person, I don't like sending songs to people unless I hear them on it. And that was just the perfect song. And he always have been telling me, like, whenever you got something, just send it to my way. And I'm like, I got one for you. And he's like, say less. He pulled up on me at the studio, and that was it. So yeah, that's how that came about.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So otherwise, like in the city, is there anybody that you are a fan of that you could get a stamp to?
Outside of Skip and Draco, of course, shout out to Paris. It's really not a lot of women in the city that's rapping, and you feel me, me and her personally done talked a few times. She's cool as hell. Shout out to Fresh. I'm trying to think. Fox the Legend. I fuck with a lot of artists in the city who, you feel me, I think tend to get like overlooked. Double A and Keystone. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Double A. It's a few artists. Like, I don't like name dropping people because I accidentally start forgetting people.
You don't want to leave nobody out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel you.
Baby Ebony. The people who I know, you feel me, they know we talk, we fuck with each other. So
nah, you got it covered. For sure. So like you said, like when you brought up Paris, like it's a male dominated game for real. So like what unique challenges do females face that a man won't? You know what I'm saying?
Right. I feel like already we gotta prove ourselves way more, because it's like people tend to already look at us like, oh, you just pretty, like, you feel me, you must not really take what you do serious, or you're not really that good. And it's like they kind of like write you off before they even like listen or like tap into like what you got going on for real. And then they be like, oh, okay, like I didn't even know you was like that for real. I'm like, but yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, and then too, just like sliding in the DMs type shit, like niggas just slide in the DMs and act like they want a feature or they trying to work, but really they just want you to pull up on them in the studio. So like it's supposed to be a date type shit. Like, this not what I pulled up for. Like,
You done had that happen for real?
Yeah, yeah, it be all types of shit. Like,
So, yeah, so what do you feel about the artists that's on right now? Female artists. Are you listening to them?
I am.
Okay.
I do fuck with Megan. So like the thing about this is like, I peep how, you feel me? Obviously, the industry, mainstream radio, like they got an agenda that they push. You feel me? So it's like, I understand the whole, sex sale shit, but I don't know. Like, I feel like as of recently, it has been a number of female artists that probably don't get as much recognition because they aren't rapping about, you feel me, what's selling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, whenever people argue, I wish that we had, more women who didn't rap about this or they rap about that. It's like, it's women out there, but like, nobody really be trying to support them or tap into their shit for real. So it's a number of female artists who I fuck with, but as far as like the super known ones, I definitely fuck with Megan. She be rapping her ass off. Like I can just, you feel me, tell the people who like really passionate about what they do instead of just, you feel me, and it's just to make, money type shit. Like somebody like Cardi B, like I fuck with her shit, but like, you feel me, she even said it herself, she don't really care about rap, she do it for the money. I fuck with Doja because she's hella versatile, her visuals be fire. Yeah.
What you think of, cause she be getting made fun of, but I really think she hard, Cordelia Ray.
I fuck with her.
I fuck with her too.
I fuck with her.
I think she got like one of the hardest ones. That's
like I love like her whole like brand and personality. Like just to go back on what I was saying earlier about not taking myself so serious. Like that's why I fuck with her. Like she just be having fun with the shit.
Nah, for sure. So like as far as the sex sales thing, like what can you say like personally, like if that problem came to you, like how would you go about it?
What you mean?
Like are you gonna stay true to yourself? Or would you change like your brand and like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, I'm still a woman at the end of the day. Like I make music like that, but that's not the majority of the type of music that I make. So it's like, you feel me, when I do tap into that bag, I don't want everybody looking like, oh, she sold out, like, you feel me? Like I'm still, you feel me, a multi-dimensional person. I'm not gonna be rapping the same shit all the time, but as far as like switching up my whole brand drastically and rapping about sex 24/7, like that's not even, you feel me, who I am as a person. So no.
For sure. I feel it. So shit. I seen you on the Netflix series. I'm blanking. I can't even remember the name.
Rhythm and Flow.
Rhythm and Flow. So can you speak on the experience?
It was dope.
Like how was the auditioning like process to even get on?
Right, that's what I was about to say. So basically how it came about was, mind you, this was around the time I had first started rapping. So like at this time I only had, like this was before my first project. So I think I only had maybe 2 or 3 songs out. And ironically, Chance the Rapper had posted about them taking auditions. And somebody had tagged me in the post and was like, you should audition. But obviously, you feel me, at that time, I had just started, like, I didn't even know music is what I wanted to do for real. I'm like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, I felt like I had to, like, work my way up to be able to do something that major. But I was like, you feel me, I'll think about it. And, like, I literally had no intentions of even, like, applying for it or, you feel me, doing the audition tape. Because at the time, I was at Ball State. So I'm like, you feel me, I'm in school, like, you feel me, I'm just focused on finishing school right now, still not really taking music serious, but it was just one of those, I guess, nights where I was like procrastinating on homework, so I'm like, fuck it, let me just fill this shit out because I'm bored. Really was not expecting nothing from it, but they ended up calling me back, because first it was like multiple rounds of it. Like first you had to submit like your social media and like the songs that you already have out, so like they listen to your shit themselves and they like, okay, cool. If we like you, we gonna have you submit a official like audition tape. So from there, like they actually wanted me to send an audition tape. So I'm like, okay, you feel me? I'm just thinking that this is an email that they sent out to everybody. But you feel me, like another one of my homies who rap too, like they was emailing me about, you know, shit throughout the process, and they was like, I didn't get that email, and I was like, oh shit. So like that's when I kind of started to realize like, oh okay, like this is for real. So after I had sent the audition tape, they had sent me an email back and was like, yeah, you know, we want to fly you out to LA to officially audition in front of them. Like, it was all expenses paid for. Like, literally all I had to do was show up. So I'm like, the fuck? Like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah, you was in class though? You had classes?
Yeah, so like that was the thing too. Like, I had to like withdraw from all my classes, and I had to take the whole semester off because like it kind of like put me in a position where I'm like, okay, well I can't just miss a whole week of classes with, you feel me, the program that I was in. So I really just, you feel me, took a risk and like betted on myself, not really knowing if it was gonna even be a yes. But even though it wasn't a yes, like I feel like that was, cause like I said, I had only been rapping for what, like 3 months at the time. That was like a moment, like being in that room, you feel me, with like people who had been rapping for years, and me feeling like I'm, you feel me, this small artist that didn't deserve to be there. It was kind of like, okay, cool, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because it's people who've been rapping for years who would have killed to be in that position, but you feel me, I was there for a reason. It's kind of what I, you feel me, looked at it as.
Nah, that's what's up. You just turned it into a stepping stone type.
Right.
Nah, that's what's up.
Yeah, after that moment, that's when I was like, okay, cool, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's when I went crazy, like freestyles and shit. Like, I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but that's when I was like doing the car freestyles and like all that shit. That's when I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna take it serious. And then I never really went.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, and then you ended up graduating anyway, right? What's the major? What you get your degree in?
T-Com, telecommunications. So yeah, like TV, radio. But like my concentration was audio production. So like once I knew music is kind of like what I was interested in, I'm like, I might as well make it make sense. So I did audio production and learned like, you know, Pro Tools and shit like that.
No, for sure, for sure. All right, so this is the last section. It's like kind of would you rather, like quick, this or that. All right.
Bet.
All right, rapper sing.
Rap.
Big studio or at home studio?
Big studio.
Freestyle or punch in?
Punch in.
All right. Get a big feature or you get paid for a feature.
What you mean? Like get paid a big bag?
Yeah, get paid a big bag for a feature, or get who would you want on your next EP?
Right.
Anybody, any choice.
Well, I feel like if somebody paying me a big bag for a feature, then that's gonna be a big artist, so it's a win-win either way. So
Okay,
I'm gonna take the bag.
I feel it. Shoot a video or perform?
Damn.
That's tough.
This about to sound bad, but I really don't like doing either.
Oh, man.
I don't like performing because it gives me anxiety, like having that much attention. Like, I'm not a center of attention type of person, but like I'm real awkward in front of, you feel me, a camera too. So that's a hard one. I would say perform though, because I feel like sometimes with the lights I can't really see anybody anyways. But with a camera, it's like I'd much rather be behind that motherfucker.
Trapping, you work too hard.